Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jeff here. This video is going to be a full masterclass on how to build high converting landing pages for your DTC brand, specifically Shopify. So I'm going to take you through the entire process of how to do so. If you don't know me, Jeff, I run Daydreamers. We are a landing page agency working with a bunch of 6 to 8 figure Shopify brands, helping them scale with better pages to improve their performance. So let's get right into it. The whole premise of this video is going to be the idea of better pages being the key to scaling your e-commerce brand. All our brands already know that creative testing a bunch of different ad concept styles, angles, all that is the way to really blow up your ad account. One missing lever that a lot of people are neglecting is the actual pages that you're driving traffic to. So here are a bunch of topics, ideas, concepts that we're going to go over in this video. Here are some free resources, free sauce that I'll leave all this in the description below to these resources, but also to this entire Gamma Doc, this document here, so you can follow along while I go through this video. Yeah, introduction, like I said, my team and I have built over 300 landing pages for 6 to 8 figure Shopify brands. We drive millions in sales through Meta and Google ads. And the main problem that we're going to be going over in this video is the idea that most brands think that their product page or their homepage will convert cold traffic, and they're wrong, because the average DTC brand will waste 80% of the ad spend because their pages don't match their audience's awareness levels or belief state. My promise in this video, but at this video, you understand the exact system to research, write, and build high converting landing pages that turn cold traffic into profit. You'll know how to create the pages to actually convert ads into profit, revenue, whatever the case is. Basically just help you guys make more money with your brands. Here are some examples from 7, 8 figure brands. Here's Ramp Health, an nootropic brand. We started working with them when they had a basic dawn theme, helped them create a better landing page. And this is Broglow, another 7-figure brand. And this is just an example of a landing page that we built for them. Both of them are active clients of ours. Like I said, what you get from this masterclass is you're going to go from sending all your traffic to generic product pages and losing money to, hopefully by the end of this video, learn how to build landing page systems that turn advertising into a money printer for you guys, right? So no more guessing, no more low conversion rates, and essentially no more wondering why your ads are unprofitable. So we're going to go over the complete research system, how to extract winning angles, pain points, objection handling, then add the actual page building system. So step-by-step templates, high converting offer pages, using Replo, which is just a landing page builder app. So you can see here, it's pretty much just a Shopify app that you're able to build high converting landing pages with. They actually changed their website, which is looking pretty cool. I haven't seen this yet. Anyways, yeah. And then third thing is just the implementation of how to actually apply all this, right? So let's get into the actual, try to understand frameworks, the inner workings of all of this, set the stage to help you guys understand and actually understand why it actually works. What I'm talking about actually works. So what most brands get wrong, I mentioned this before, is they're driving all their traffic, cold traffic, basically people who have never heard of them, directly to a product page, which is essentially designed for warmer traffic. Warmer traffic essentially means that they already know you, they're aware of the problem that you're solving, they're aware of your solution, they're aware of your brand. And in those cases, it makes sense to drive them to a product page, something like this, because they already know your brand, they know what you sell, boom, easy, done. But the problem is cold traffic isn't ready to buy. They need to shift their beliefs first. And product pages assume that they already know all that. They already know that the trust is there. It assumes that this random shopper knows your brand, which, fun fact, if you're not doing 9, 10 figures, most people don't know your brand, and that's fine, right? So you need to separate yourself, differentiate yourself with more alignment between the ad and the landing page experience. Here's this basic concept of the idea that they're running ads about peanut butter for dogs and they're driving all this traffic here, and they're wondering why they're struggling to scale. Lack of context, not having trust, too much information, too many options, features, decisions when they don't even feel like they need the product, right? It doesn't make sense to present them options or discounts even if they don't even know if they want the product. Discounts only valuable if they already want the product. Wrong messaging and no belief shift. Standard pages kill conversions. We understand that by this point, right? So let's just go over some examples just to kind of frame this and help you guys really, really understand the idea that when it comes to cold traffic, because how you scale matters. The best brands, you're targeting more of the people as you scale as you spend more on ads, you're targeting more and more people that don't know you, which is why it's important to have different angles, different audience groups, different awareness levels, and all that. But the problem is most brands send all that traffic and there's different people within that into the same page. So the first point is the ad awareness mismatch. So the standard product page will talk about like this premium solution and talk about all the features. When your shopper doesn't even know that, well, first doesn't even know your brand, they don't even know why they should buy the product. So there's an immediate disconnect between it because they're not ready for product details because they're still deciding if the product is even worth buying. The second thing is the belief gap. You haven't educated them enough to make them feel confident that you're the best solution. Because the question you need to ask yourself is, do they even know why you're buying? And more cases than not, the answer is no, right? Which is why when product brands talk about this advanced formula, again, about features, the shopper is thinking, I'm not even sure if this is going to work for them, right? There's no belief shift that occurs. So there's no purchase consideration. Coupled with the fact that it's like, hey, get 10% off now. It's like, it doesn't mean anything to them, right? Because if you're not in the market for something, it doesn't matter how big the discount is. There's no point in buying it. Does that make sense? And the third thing is the trust deficit. They don't actually believe you can deliver on your promise. So you haven't given them enough confidence to buy from you. Again, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, of like 10, 15% off, but they haven't even heard of your brand. They don't even know why they're buying. Their skepticism, and they're just going to shop around. So here's just a quick mock-up. This is a concept of just providing more context, more information, and just having a stronger offer. So having a more specific headline. So if the ad is talking about the problems with dogs of their skin or stomach issues, you can address that immediately. So having that congruency between what you're saying and the page you land on, having basic social proof, and then having a better offer where you're providing 1 to 4 jars, the one-time purchase versus subscribe and save, and then just having some basic value props. It comes to free shipping, money back guarantee, whatever the case may be. So this is the reality check that you guys probably need is when you are sending cold traffic, people who don't know your brand, to a generic product page, you're asking them to make a purchase decision without understanding why they need your product, trusting your brand or your claims, believing your solution works for them, and seeing social proof from people like them. Right? It's like proposing on the first date, or as soon as you meet someone, or even like when you're at the mall and some like those kiosk guys selling you this perfume or these shoe cleaners. It's like, I'm not here to buy that, right? It like turns you off completely. And that's what product pages typically do if you're sending all traffic to that. So the solution is a landing page system. And how it works is having a bridge page between the ad and then your product page, providing that context, right? It's where you can address beliefs and objections with that page. So it's basically different page types that work together to warm up that cold traffic and then to provide that education, the trust, the shifting beliefs, whatever the case may be, before they get to that sales page. So this is what most people do. They design their entire funnel for warm traffic, and this assumes that people know your brand. They assume that they know your product. They assume they trust your brand. They assume that they understand the problem you're solving and all that. So they go from an ad to your product page, hoping that they purchase immediately, when that's not the case. That's the ideal solution, right? Like all brands want that. Of first touch point, you send someone an ad, they click on it, they buy immediately, and they even subscribe. You retain them as customers, and your LTV is high. All that is great. Like that's the ideal situation, but that's not reality. So what you want to do instead is having that bridge page, that pre-sale page before they get to the offer page. So this is essentially the traditional funnel, and this is an optimized landing page system. And this is how brands are really making money. This is how brands are printing, actually. So basically having a 2-page system that changes everything. That pre-sale page, that bridge page, will do 80% of the persuasion before they get to the sales page. And sales page, offer page is just another word for product page. This is for cold traffic, right? People who are unaware or problem and solution aware. And this is where you see people having like advertorials or listicles. And the whole point of this is to warm up your prospects, is to educate them, build belief, shift worldview, and gain that trust. Your sales page, and you guys already know this, is for conversion. It's converting that warmer traffic into buyers. But it only works well when they are already warmed up. They're pre-educated from whatever the mechanism is, right? Some ads are so great that you don't need a bridge page, but that's just not for all people, like the case for everyone, right? Because most of your products require some sort of education and shifting beliefs of why your solution is the best solution. And if anything else, you need trust when it comes to social proof and providing that context and that trust and that belief shift. This is one example from Javi. They run one of the best 2-page funnels. They have an ad, they throw all their traffic to Listicle, and then they click on that, and then they get to that sales page, the offer page. If they don't buy, they get retargeting ads that get them back to that product page. So basically, having that, like some examples, for example, a Listicle, Advertorial, whatever the case may be, for cold traffic. Warm traffic, you can get away with going directly to sales page. Warm email traffic, for example, are people that already bought from you, or they got into your email list, so they have some sort of awareness, right? And all this is just based on Schwartz's 5 stages of awareness. If you guys don't know this about this, basically this summates how you want to speak based on the context that each person has. So someone who doesn't even know it's a problem, those are the unaware people. These are actually people you want to skip because it's going to take too much effort, too much ad dollars to make that shift. The shift that you need to make is way too big. You want to focus on the problem aware and the solution aware. People that who know they have a problem, right? And people who know that there's solutions available out there. They just don't know which to go with. Product aware and most aware, those are the shoppers that you are already converting right now. Those are the ones that purchase directly from your product page. But that's hard to scale by just banking on those. You want to really focus on the problem aware and solution aware because this is the bulk, the majority of the market size. So TLDR, why the system works, I guess you're not really reading, but cold prospects need to be warmed up before they're ready to buy. And the pre-sale page, the bridge page, does all the heavy lifting of education and belief building. The sales page, the product page, focus purely on conversions. But now with the bridge page, that pre-sale landing page, your shoppers have the context, more awareness about your product and how it is the solution to their problem. So they know they have a problem, they know you have a solution, and then they believe that your solution is best. Those are the shifts that you need to make. I'll skip all this because I've pretty much said that the same thing over and over again. But the core problem, that you got that. Solution is having landing pages. That's basically all I'm trying to say. In 15 minutes, if there's the one takeaway, build and test more landing pages that are congruent to your ads. That's it. Got it? Oh, mental shift you need to make. I'm driving all my traffic to my home and product pages. I need a better product page. This is valid. But there's a bigger lever you can pull is I need a landing page system that guides prospects from cold to customer. Got it? So now we get to the fun part. We understand why the system works and why this is valid. And then now we're going to dive into how to actually build this type of stuff, right? Everything we covered is pretty much worthless if we don't do this next step right here, which is to research your audience, extract angles that actually convert. So what we're going to do is do the work beforehand. I have a little gif of Messi, right? There's actually something I read. This is completely irrelevant, but the idea that like there's a lot of teammates talk about him not even stretching before games because he's just that talented, but it's all the work that he's done for decades to get to that point. And that's the kind of analogy I'm trying to give of just doing the work beforehand. In this case, it's the research and the strategy, and then everything else will be easier because when you're in the game, it comes easy to them or to him, to players, whatever the case may be. Like the top players, the games are easy versus practice, for example. Just for context. Okay, so the next sections will give you the research system that finds winning angles and then how to actually build the pages that work. Okay, research foundation system, 3 main pillars. Psychographic research, basically what this means is just deep diving into your ideal customer's mind. Number 2, competitor research, that's self-explanatory. And then 3rd, unique mechanism, which is just ways to differentiate your brand amongst all the other ones out there. So it's just setting yourself apart and then having your shopper, the market, feel like your solution is the best one out there for them. So we're going to deep dive into the customer's mind. We're going to study other competitors and then provide a unique mechanism. So these are the 5 belief shifts that someone needs before they buy. And I hinted at this before, but we're going to really deep dive into this. So number 1 is that they have to believe that they have this problem, right? You can't sell a solution to someone if they don't first believe that they have a problem in the first place. This is why I said there's no point in selling to the unaware people who don't even know they have a problem, right? Because it's just going to take too much work, right? Basically, the idea that you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. The master will appear, the teacher will appear when the student is ready, right? Number 2, this product can actually solve it. So providing proof, explaining how it works, and building trust. So there's multiple ways to do this. We'll get into that, but basically the idea that this type of product can solve it. Your product can solve it for them. Number 3 is this is for someone like me. So they need to feel seen. And this is where you want to be specific in your language and get them to resonate with what it is you're presenting and selling them. And then 4th, which is similar, is I believe it'll work for me. This is where you usually see personal stories, testimonials, before and afters do this best. If they feel like you're presenting case studies or results from people that look like them or are like them, and they have gotten results, they will have more interesting trust and will be more likely to try you out. And then which leads to the 5th one of just no risk in trying it. So having a strong guarantee will kind of remove that objection and that fear. So going into the psychographic research, and real quick, all this is going to be automated by AI. I should have said this before, but everything here seems crazy in depth and almost to a point where it's like, I don't even want to do this. And I feel that, right? That's why we are going to leverage the tools we have available, like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. Just use that because, well, for one, that's what I use. That's what my team and I use just to help really extract relevant information that we need, but we don't want to do. So step 1 is to deep dive into your avatar, which is your customers just beyond their basic demographics. So really deep diving into their mind, right? What attitudes do they have? What are their hopes and dreams? What outside forces do they believe have prevented their best life? What questions do they ask about their current situation? What are their daily frustrations? What do they believe about existing solutions, right? And this is just me. I'm just reading all this out just to kind of help you think and kind of brainstorm while you're thinking about your brand and your product. Like this is just to kind of help you brainstorm all this. Again, this is all going to be automated. So don't worry about actually doing this, but just bear with me for a little bit. Step 2, market sentiment extraction, going through like Reddit's, the Amazon reviews, TikTok comments, stuff like that, just to kind of deep dive into what people are searching for, the different horror stories, success stories, repeated language phrases, all that. Number 3 is the pain point categorization. So extracting those pain points, but then now determining, okay, is it the physical pain? Is it emotional, social, financial, or even time? If you can get really specific with that, the more specific you can be with your language, and then the more your ideal customer will feel understood. So this won't apply to all brands. This will be for all. This will be case by case. This will be case by case, depending on exactly what your product is and who you're solving it for. Number 4 is objection mining and pre-handling. 8 universal objections. Again, this is just a generic list, but the idea that it won't work for them. They've tried similar things before. It's too expensive. They don't have the time. It feels too good to be true. They need to think about it. They should ask their whoever first. They could probably find it cheaper. This feels kind of relevant to you guys, right? And these are the objections you want to solve, or at least addressed. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you are running a 6, 7, 8-figure Shopify brand and you're looking for custom landing pages built by my team, I'm going to leave a link in the description below to book a call. We've worked with hundreds of different brands. We have built 400 plus pages at this point. All this is going to be available. Go to the description, book a call with me, and we'll see if we can help you out. So that's all the psychographic research. Second, now we're going into competitor research, which is when you're looking at a competitor, these are some of the pillars that you want to focus on, which is who is their ideal customer? How do they get their new customers? What's their main value proposition in their ads and landing pages? So as far as like the core messaging, like what is the main angles, right? And then number 4 is the recurring angles, like what hooks and angles are they constantly using? How do they structure their offers, their pricing? And what do their customers love and hate about them? So which angles are oversaturated? So you want to avoid these. And basically all that's going to tell you the following, which are like which pain points competitors are ignoring, which leads to gaps, opportunities for you. What pricing is working for you guys, or pricing is working for your competitors, and then how you can position yourself against established brands, and what claims you can make that others can't. And this will lead to unique mechanisms. And then with that, developing angles. So 3 main mechanisms that we use is first, an existing mechanism, which is just reframing known solutions. So take something that's known and just simply position it uniquely. Number 2 is the unspoken mechanism, which is highlighting benefits that competitors ignore. Highlighting benefits competitors ignore. Right? This is the opportunity gaps that we talked about before. And the third one is transubstantiated mechanism, which is basically just a fancy way of saying creating this new system or this new terminology, making it sound new, fancy, and it almost positions you as different immediately just based on that name, right? Or this new system. Again, none of this really matters. Well, I mean, it does matter, but again, you don't have to do any of this. I'm just trying to just deep dive into the frameworks, pillars of all that. So 5 hooks that work a lot of times: leading with curiosity, leading with the problem, leading with some sort of secret or something that people don't want you to know about, which is honestly similar to curiosity, discovery, and then some sort of story hook, like a before and after almost, right? Okay. Now that we went through that, you got a quick peek of this. This is where we're going to really just focus on the actual workflow for all this. All right. So this is part where we're going to turn up. This is the full autopilot AI workflow to handle all your research, your strategy, and your copywriting for your Shopify builds. This is actually a concert from Kanye. I was actually at this show for a St. Pablo tour. I'm not sure exactly what show this was, but I was there somewhere in those mosh pits. This was like over 10 years ago. Different times, but here's the prompts that we use. I'll open this up right here just so you can see. This is basically the step-by-step process, and then I will also present you the actual prompts. So let's take Paw Power Nutrition. This is the dog peanut butter brand that I mentioned to you before, and what we're gonna do is use Gemini in this case, and we're going to do deep research. And basically what we're going to do is simply just copy and paste these prompts right into Gemini, or you can use ChatGPT as well. There's no right answer. Simply just copy and paste that. Just make sure you change up the ones that are in bold and in brackets. So peanut butter for dogs, and just throw that in there. Again, this is super raw. This is really uncut. You can go super granular and specific, change things up. This is just a basic workflow to get you guys to get something done and just execute upon something, right? The name of the game for ecom is just how much can you output and how much can you get out there and test. Because there's no right answer for anything. It's more so about taking your best guess and then just spinning it up and throwing it into your ad account. Which is why CBO, like the idea of like when you're testing, just throw that into a CBO in your Meta account and then just let the algo do its thing, right? New creatives with new pages, throw all that in there and just let it spin. So while that runs, and then just hit start research. Make sure to go deep research for all this. This is gonna take a while, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing and hopefully it finishes before then. But if not, I'll just present you the next parts, because the next step in all this, step 1 was open up deep research. Again, this can be Gemini or it can be ChatGPT. There's no right answer. And then you want to export each report that you get as a PDF. So the first thing, we're doing the psychographic analysis, which is just your your customer, like deep diving into your customer avatar. The second one is your competitor research. So both the psychographic, which is just your customer, and your competitors. Those are the 2 main priorities. And you'll see here that the competitor research prompt is also available to you. Again, just copy and paste it, Command A that, Command C to copy, and then Command V that right into the same prompt. And you can leave it, but you can just do the same thing of just peanut butter for dogs. Right? Super simple. Once that loads up and analyzes and does all that for the psychographic, the customer research, you can go right into the competitor research in the same prompt. So we got that. And again, all this is available to you guys in the description. So then the next thing is going to be the unique mechanism. So the unique mechanism, like I talked about, is just a way to differentiate yourself. This is a way to just separate your brand from pretty much everyone else in the marketplace. So this is where you want to really focus on providing a way to pretty much talk about how you're different and how you're better than everyone else. And all this, again, if you're using Gemini, just throw it into the same prompt, copy and paste it, and just simply just run it inside the same prompt. Okay, I'm gonna let this load because it's taking a bit longer. It's actually almost done. So if you want, you can just stay here with me while this loads, and we can move on to the next thing after that. But let's just let this go. Okay, awesome. So this is actually perfect timing. So it's just a pretty deep, in-depth analysis on that. We can export the docs and create as a PDF. Next thing is your competitor research. This is where you can just throw that same prompt for competitor research right into the same prompt there. So from there, we can start the research for competitors. And for the psychographic, you just open it, either copy all this and paste it into Google Doc Explorer, or just export the docs. It's going to load up Google Docs, and then you can just download this as a PDF, because this is going to be relevant when you're actually writing copy. So let's just go ahead and download that as a PDF. The next thing, again, is competitor research, and we're going to do the same thing as before for that. In the meantime, I'll move on to the next thing. Here's just another video that you'll have access to of me going through the exact same process, but deep dive into the actual pages itself. So bridge pages, pre-sale pages, pretty much what that is just the first page that they will see when they hit an ad, and then the page before your product page. And again, the whole point of this is to do 80% of the persuasion before they get to that product page. So pre-sale pages must meet readers where they are at, awareness level wise, build belief and curiosity, shift that worldview, the beliefs if needed, provide trust, right? Educate them on specific things that they need. So really deep diving into the problem that they're facing, the solution that you're offering, providing trust, credibility, so social proof, before and afters, UGC, customer reviews, and then a soft close before that real sales page. So a listicle landing page, basically what this is a list-based educational style page that uses curiosity and value to warm up users before sending them to a page. So let me actually open up a swipe file that we have. Whoop, don't look at that. Here's an example of a listicle. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. It's super, super scannable in a way that is great for cold traffic, because they can just kind of understand what you're saying. You're being held hostage by terrible sleep. And again, a lot of people aren't reading all this, but again, you have a quick little offer section so they can get a glimpse of what the offer is. And then just deep diving into different things. So like the problems, operation recharge, clearance, you have like different people using it. I'll show you another one. I like this one right here from Old School Labs. They sell creatine, I believe, for women, and their angle is to help build that butt up. Instead of squatting, you can have this BBL alternative. I think that's a really good headline, just specifically for this target audience, because they know what BBLs are. Guys probably don't know, but right, the secret weapon, before and after, right? That's a crazy before and after. Zero bloat formula, talking about the product, real ingredients, more social proof, right? Having that offer. And then if you click on that call to action button, you'll get sent to their sales page. And in this case, it's another landing page, like as far as like just providing more context. In other cases, it could be straight to a product page. But if you scroll all the way down, you have the offer where you can just add to cart and then go to checkout from there. And for the hostage tape, for example, click on that. It'll take you to another page, and this is just their product page. This is for their offer of buy two get one free, which is a great offer. And then from there, add to cart, go straight to the cart slide out, and then you could check out some upsells there. Oh, and then competitor research is done in this case, so we can export that as well. This is obviously a really this video is all over the place, but you'll see everything will make sense very soon. So we'll download that. So we have the first one is the customer research. The second one is competitor research. Oh, and everything I mentioned is the listicle, right? Why you use it, meet users at different stages of awareness, warm them up, scannable, quick scannable page. They're really easy to build. That's actually the page that we're going to work on today. And then when to use it before sending traffic to a product page. So pretty much just to warm up audiences. Advertorial is just like a native style, a mix between like an editorial and like a blog and like a sales page and all that mixed in. But the whole point of it is just to kind of tell like a story. You can really go deep into the problem they're facing, really agitate that problem, and then provide that solution, right? Like a simple PAS framework: problem, agitate, solution. And yeah, the whole goal of this is just to lower resistance and just subtly introduce the product, because you're talking about the problem that they're facing. They feel that rapport with you, and then they feel more open to having that offer thrown at them, right? All this is before the product page. Builds trust, reduces that sales friction, and educates the user and shifts belief before that product page. Ideal for cold traffic, same thing for listicles, and you should be testing both. Like Advertorial listicles are just the styles of pages. There's hundreds, I'm not hundreds, but there's a lot of different types of pages, like a founder page. There's a bunch of different stuff that you can test, but the whole goal, I'll actually show you this. Like this core offer, pre-sale pages, advertorials, like a discovery, personal journey, doctor angle, right? We have social proof pages like a science page, customer reviews, comparison. There's a bunch of pages that you can test. There's no one right answer, right? But it's just to show you an example. And here's an example of an advertorial, right? You've seen these before. If you click on like a Google ad, you'll get pitched a page like this. And in this case, they have another landing page, really deep diving into the mechanisms. And then we have that offer section right here. Again, all these examples will be available in this doc. And then sales page, you guys already know this. Product page, basically just converting that warmer traffic into customers. So sales pages basically just need to communicate the offer well: product, bundle, subscription, whatever the case may be, highlighting core benefits and the unique mechanism, basic social proof, make the offer feel irresistible and urgent, and providing a simple path to purchase. Here are some elements to follow. And when you want to use this, you guys already know this, is to convert traffic, right? To convert warmer traffic that are already familiar with your product and your brand. This is an example from Carp. I love this offer page because it starts out with solid offer, 50% off with 4 free gifts. Amazing. They have great product imagery. Oh, I already messed this up. Great product imagery. One thing you guys are not doing is leveraging your product image carousels. That's valuable screen real estate that you guys aren't touching. So do that. Maybe I'll provide resources for that in the description, hopefully. If not, go to my Twitter because I post a lot of examples and free resources. I'll leave that in the description for sure. But basically just free gift incentives. The more you buy, the more you get. Solid. That's fire. And then quick USPs, social proof, how to use, how we compare, FAQs, customer reviews. That's all you need for a page like this. Okay. Offer page, same thing. Basically just a single offer. This is an example of an offer page right here. Offer pages, product pages are typically for warmer audiences, right? This is what we talked about before. It's for warmer audiences. Basically, again, what that means is people that are aware of your brand and your product. This link broke. Poop. Let me try to fix that. This is from Snap Supplements. I love this landing page. Over 50% of men will have prostate issues, but most don't know until it's too late. Ooh, scary, right? Going into that problem, providing that credibility, clinician's choice, and a really solid offer. So this urgency, fire, this is great. And then you'll see at the end, they have an offer buy box right there. This is great framing. I'm not going to go into this. I have other videos that deep dive into how to frame offers as well. But this is just an example of a great offer page. Okay, so we went over the workflow, and this video might be all over the place. But at this point, you understand why you need to test landing pages, how to actually run it via Gemini or ChatGPT using that basic prompt I showed you, and we want to export that out, right? So let's get out of these links here. Let's clean up our view. So we did this, we did the research, we exported as PDFs, right? Now we can move on to Claude. And I typically like to use Claude for copy specifically. You don't need to use anything you don't want to use. It's whatever you feel comfortable with and what you like. There's no right answer for any of this. So basically what we want to do is throw in the competitor research, the customer research into Claude or whatever you want again. And pretty much what we're going to say is you are tasked to write a pre-sale landing page and use the following angles to help you, right? We skipped the unique mechanisms prompt, which we could actually go back just so I can show you basically what that is. Pretty much just coming up with angles. So I'll actually just dump this in right here just so I can show you what that is. I mean, actually not do. Let's do this right here. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. Okay, let's let that run. Basically, this is just finding unique mechanism and your angles. But we can move on to Replo. Replo, I briefly showed you the best way to build pages fast. Replo changed the game. Old way, hiring expensive developers, waiting weeks for changes, can't test quickly, need technical coding knowledge, all that. That's rubbish. The new way is drag and drop, no code, able to build professional pages that people spend thousands of dollars in, but you could do it yourself in hours. You can A/B test it all, and no code is required, which is great. So I'm gonna go over an actual walkthrough for how to use Replo. I'm not gonna go super specific because that video will be hours and there's an endless amount of things we can go over. But basically, just how to choose your template, how to customize the content, how to optimize and deploy and test. So all this to show you how to speed past your competitors with this exact process. Lewis Hamilton, oh baby. So basically we did step one, right? We did the psychographic and competitor research. We entered the prompts in the order listed, right? We used deep research, we exported PDF, all that, great. Now we did the process research, which is the unique mechanism. We're doing that right now. It's loading up and we're picking our angle. So I'll show you to do this right now. Show how to do this right now. That was not even English. Okay. So this is the output that it gave. First angle is nutritional contagion mechanism. You've tried to give your dog simple peanut butter, but nagging a sense of fear and guilt. Why? Because this isn't a virus. The purity of formula of purity. So this angle really goes into the dog owners that feed their dog peanut butter but feel like maybe I shouldn't give them human peanut butter or unhealthy peanut butter, like for dogs, whatever. And fun fact, most peanut butter is actually not a health food. They have a lot of additives in there. Not good. But let's move on to the next one. The kibble cascade. You tried every healthy organic dog shit on the market, but you're still, I like this one already. Because this is pitting a common thing that dog owners give, which is kibble and these treats that are probably not good also. Downstream effect of century-old commercial pet food system has replaced raw living nutrients. Dogs once ate. I like this. Bioavailability bypass. Disregard my dog. Disregard my dog. I have to give her peanut butter for this. The flavor disconnect. We're playing. Okay, so this is for dog owners that have to give their dogs pills, medicine, but they don't take it. Peanut butter is an easy way. So that's a great angle as well. The lick and quit. You thought you're about puzzle, but you lose interest after a few minutes. That's fine. Whatever. The brand loyalty backfire. No, I already know that I like the second one and the third one the best. So we can just do something simple as like, I like the second one the best. And we could even just copy and paste this because this talks about how most mainstream dog treats are bad and how this this brand's peanut butter is better and superior. Let's create some angles based on this. So pretty much what we're doing here is picking the one that you like best. If you like none of them, simply just say, I hate all of these, write me 5 more or 10 more. But then basically picking your favorite one and then just asking it to just strategize different angles for that. So this is where where are we here? We are the process and picking your angle. We're reviewing reports, selecting one unique mechanism, which we did, selecting the angle to start with. You can always change this later, right? Then we're going to move on to step 3, 4, and 5. Claude is waiting for us. I'm going to get rid of these PDFs, these docs for the customer and competitor research. We actually don't need to use Gemini. Again, we could use Claude, we could use ChatGPT for this. Doesn't matter. But let's hop into Replo for now. I'm going to open up my Replo. Let's just open up. Oh, shit. Sorry. Give it a second. Let's go to browse templates. So this is basically what you guys are going to get access to. These are all free landing page templates that Replo provides. And I'm going to show you this way so it's applicable to everyone watching this video, right? Because I don't want to give you something super specific that only some of you guys can use. So let's do something that everyone can use, which is a Listicle landing page that is already available. So I like this one right here, actually. This is one from Javi. This is the exact brand that I showed you before that has the great 2-page list funnel. Click on that, create a new page, whatever, and then you'll get presented with this. And this also assumes that you've installed Replo and you're on it. You can try Replo for free and build and do whatever you want. You only need to sign up for Replo and pay for it if you want to publish. But once you have chosen a basic Listicle template or just a landing page template, what we can, okay, hold on for that. Hold on that. Let me go back to the angle here. Okay, yeah. So basically just read through all this. But what we're going to do is just export it as a doc. Let's just save time here. Let's export, wait for Google Doc to load. We're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to export it as a PDF. Great. Now we're going to go back to Claude where we had the customer research, the competitor research. Now we have angles, right? So now we can go talking about analyze these 3 PDFs provided you. I will ask you to write copy for a landing page, but first go through all of this. I'll give you the next prompt after. You don't have to copy this. Basically just telling it to go through all of this, having a breaking down to step by step before jumping into copy. Just kind of just allowing it to really just immerse yourself into everything that you've given it. And it's going to give you like a breakdown of everything. That's fine, whatever. Now we can move on to Replo again. So what we're going to do here, and like, this is the fast way to do all this. We're going to screenshot this. If you're on a Mac, Command Shift for that, Command Shift 4, and then you can just drag the exact part that you want. Just copy that entire landing page. You have that screenshotted. Now we can just, boom, throw that in there, right? Now we can be like, okay, based on now write me copy to replace this exact Listicle landing page. Let's do something basic like that. Let's just play around with everything. We can get rid of Gemini. We can get rid of all this. One thing I forgot is to give it context for the actual brand. So this is where you can throw in screenshots of your website, throw in ads, throw in a basic onboarding form if you have. Because the basic overview of everything is doing the AI research and strategy, right? We want to also this is never mind. And then step 2 is choosing your page template, which we did in Replo. And how to choose a page template, if you guys don't know, there's not a strict framework for choosing page templates. You got to try everything, try as much as you can. But advertorials for cold unaware traffic that needs deep explanation, you probably sell like a supplement or something, a complex problem that requires explanation. Listicle is just for clear, tangible benefits, something that's easy to scan, and all that. But yeah, so before all this, you want to do your research with AI. You want to choose your template like that we did. Then we're going to create the copy, and then we're going to build it in Replo. So Claude goes crazy with everything. It actually creates a mock-up, but this is easy because now once you have copy, and again, the first draft that it gives you should not necessarily, or it can be your final draft, but you could also tweak it, like go section by section and tweak it, right? So be like, this headline is good. Can you write me 10 more in different styles and length? Right. So you can basically go back and forth with your AI to just refine and dial in each section here and there. So like a fear-based one, there's curiosity driven, problem driven. So the shocking truth about what's really and what every dog needs to know about next trip. If you struggle with your dog's pill. So these are the different mechanisms that we talked about. Turn pill into treat time. Right. So this is obviously like a fear-based angle, right? Because we don't want them to take these random dog treats. We want them to feed them peanut butter because it's better. But anyways, let's say this is the exact copy you want to use, right? Simply go to Replo, copy and paste that exact headline over into here, and just drag and drop and copy and paste, changing your font here. Quick pro tip for Replo, you can hold shift and hold down, click on every text block you have or that you see, and you can bulk edit your fonts. Satoshi Black, I like this one, right? And then you can just play around with that. Oh, it doesn't even have area. Okay, but let's just say I don't want to waste too much time on this, but a bell, right? And then you can just choose the headlines to make it. Oh, it doesn't even give you. Oh, that is so whack. Okay, whatever. In other cases, it will allow you to do bold or something. Oh, bold font. Anyways, you get the point. I hope so. I'm wasting too much time here. Well, we could even highlight this and hit bold there, and it's solidly bolds. Hope that makes sense. But all you're gonna do is just copy all these copy the copy, and then just go from there. And let's say we want something like this. I will quickly show you. I like to maintain everything that's already given. So just duplicate that. I just hit Command D to duplicate, and then take this one right here. Notice how there is a like a border and all that. Let's just provide some padding to this. Set a background. Let's just do like a yellow. It's kind of ugly. That's besides the point. It's okay. Border, hit a border. It was also curved, so we could do like a radius of like 10 pixels. Boom. Now we also already got something like that. As easy as that. And then we could just copy and paste. Boom. Then we could take this again. Command D. One peanut butter is 100. Our peanut butter is 100%. And if you notice that there's a lot of space in between each one, you don't like that, we can see that it's because of the gap. So we can reduce the gap. But let's say we wanted some space between this yellow block right here. There's two ways you could do this. You could throw in margins. Oops, I was holding shift. If you hold shift and go up or down, you will do all of them. But let's just do, let's say like 9 pixels margin. So now you have space between those two. Or you can just add padding there, or you can group this and then just have padding that way. There's many ways you could do this, but you'll notice that all this is already optimized, like responsive for mobile and tablet. Of course, you can play around with stuff, but it's really, really simple. And by now, you can tell how easy it is to whip up pages really quickly because you're using AI to do all your market research and your strategy and your copy, and you're using Replo, which is a drag and drop tool, to make it really, really easy to build pages. And now you're just going to change your images. So you can just double click on that, changing your images, whatever you want to do, and just go on to make those changes there. So we've generated landing page copy, we refined optimized copy, and now we built and launched in Replo. And after you're done, just hit publish. And if you want to make any changes to your page, like your SEO stuff, like you could name the name of the page, SEO, page title, description, feature image, check that off. You can change the URL. You also have options to hide the footer, show footer, nav bar, header, announcement bar, any custom things necessary. That's pretty much it. You could also get preview links. So if you don't want to purchase Replo just yet, but you still want to see it live, you could just hit preview, and Replo will provide a Replo link that you can still use to share and also check on mobile. Obviously, we have to change everything else, but you can see how this is already really solid. Let's say we want to add a button. I'm not going to go through so many things, but let's say we wanted a button. It's all about dragging and dropping. But we think, oh, this is kind of ugly. So what we're going to do is remove this margins here, or we could even add some. Let's say this button is too long. We can go to open this up. Max width. We could set a max width. Let's just do like 500. We can change the thing, call to action button, and then we can configure it and do any hover animations if you want. Basically, hover over the button, interactions, on click, go to on click, and you have a bunch of different things you could do. Redirect, add to cart, redirect to product page, discount code, scroll to URL hash mark. Hash mark is just scrolling to a specific section of the page. So let's say this section right here you like, so just type in section 3, and then you can click on the button again, go to interactions, on click, a URL, and then go to section 3, and it'll scroll directly to that. This is basically it, guys. We did all this in about an hour or so, but that also included me going through everything. So as you can see, you can make pages really, really fast with AI, with Replo. All the links to all this is going to be in the description below. I provided some like a swipe file, some screenshots, some example landing pages, some templates. I didn't even know I added this. This is great for you guys. There's free Replo templates that you guys can take. All that. What link is this? Okay, I think I got rid of this video. So let me just. Okay, so that is bad, but. And then some examples. But yeah, if you stuck around to this video, appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna leave my Calendly in the description, but also at end of this doc. If you guys are running a 6, 7, 8 figure ecom brand, want to build new landing pages, just feel free to book a call with me. This is really more so for people who are already scaling their brands. We don't really work with people that are just starting out. And you can also check out my website as well here. But yeah, other than that, hope you found this video valuable. I'm really tired, not gonna lie. After going through all this was a lot. But pretty much as an overview, you're gonna basically use AI for strategy, for research. You're gonna choose your Replo template. You're going to generate copy, and then you're gonna build it in Replo with those templates that you already have from Replo, because they're all available for free to play around with. And yeah, hope this helps. All right, appreciate it. See you in the next one, guys. Peace.